All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Greatness Stone. Shalom to the elect pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. With the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the charagma written about in Revelation 30 verse 16 on down, which is the MOTB. The miracle drug is a precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. And just for the record, he's a so-called black man. So I want to jump straight into this lesson dealing with the strange acts of the Lord, because a lot of people seeing certain things transpiring upon the earth right now and they don't have an idea what's really going on. Day unto day they wake up, them see various things that transpire, storms, snowstorms, earthquakes, signs in the heavens, wars and rumors of wars. But them can't come to the understanding of what's really going on. This is the Lord's judgment in the earth, y'all. And it's going to get worse and worse as the time progresses. The so-called New Year start off with a bang. Earthquake shaking over there in Mystery Babylon the Great, which is America. And a lot of floods and various storms. But who can understand these things? Who can understand these strange acts? So I'm going to jump straight into it with the hope that this is edifying you. So this is Isaiah 28. And I'm going to start at verse 31. For Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, shall rise up as in Mount Perazim. And this is when the Lord deliver David from the Philistines. He shall be wrath as in the valley of Gibeon, that he may do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, his strange act. Now therefore be ye not mockers, lest your bonds be made strong. For I have heard from the Lord Yahweh of hosts a consumption, even determined upon the whole earth. Give ye ear, and hear my voice. Hearken, and hear my speech. Because the Lord had declared these things aforetime, and now they are coming to pass. It's written in Matthew 16, how that people can discern the signs of the sky to determine when it's going to be a fair weather, rain or fall. You see me? But them can't discern the signs of the times. And why the scripture would have make a statement like that? If I show you how the signs of the times are clear. So I want to jump straight into the signs of the times, yo.
A New Year's Day earthquake in California.
New video of a strong earthquake hitting Northern California yesterday morning.
5.4 magnitude quake hit near the community of Rio Dell this morning. That's the same area that was hit by that magnitude 6.4 quake just 12 days ago.
Now, no reports of any major damage or injuries right now, but there were some power outages. The same area was hit with a strong quake last month. A 6.4 magnitude quake struck Rio Dell.
This is the second earthquake to strike the region in less than 3 weeks. The last one happened on December 20th. In that one, 2 people were killed. Meanwhile, heavy rain washed out the area. Take a look at this video.
Tonight, a state of emergency in California where tens of millions are under flood and wind alerts as yet another major storm, a bomb cyclone, as forecasters describe it, threatens the state.
By daylight, the sheer magnitude of the storm's destruction across California became clear. Tidal surges,
This is probably up there with 19, some of the storms 20, 30 years ago with the amount of trees down.
Which received the equivalent of 1 month's worth of rainfall in less than 24 hours.
Now in a state of emergency, this is exactly what California is bracing for. The brunt of a new winter storm forecasted to be potentially more powerful than the system that triggered daring rescues, widespread flooding, and washed out roads.
This satellite imagery shows the enormity of the storm as it slammed into the western U.S., blanketing California, the latest in a series of back-to-back atmospheric rivers. Hurricane-force wind gusts blowing the canopy off this gas station just south of San Francisco.
And because California was just crushed by a storm a few days ago, even a few inches of rain could be catastrophic.
This is an extreme weather event, and we're moving from extreme drought to extreme flood.
A storm system powerful enough to strand drivers, trigger landslides, and swallow roads again.
More than 5 inches of rain in total fell, setting a new daily record for the city of San Francisco.
But in this case, we're talking about California experiencing historic droughts. Despite all this devastation, is the rain helping?
This is near the same area that's recovering from a 6.4 magnitude quake that killed 2 people last month.
The epicenter about 200 miles north of San Francisco.
As we felt here, there's been over 50 aftershocks since the initial 6.4 earthquake.
A strong earthquake rattling people out of bed there in the middle of the night. The 6.4 magnitude quake hitting just after 2:30 a.m. local time. The epicenter, as you can see here, just off the coast, about 8 miles west of Ferndale, California. Some video on social media shows shelves and furniture falling to the ground.
Also, more than 30 aftershocks were felt soon after, including a 4.6. Now, this happened about 200 miles north of San Francisco.
As it woke you up this morning, how about the magnitude 3.6 earthquake that struck in El Cerrito?
Did not the disciples went unto Yahushua at the Mount of Olives and asked him, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of their coming and of the end of the world? Which that word right there go back to aeon, which means age, isn't it? And these are the signs of the Lord's coming here. The Lord telling us to say, earthquakes, famine, and pestilence in diverse places. And this is how the Lord start off the year, yo. This is the hopeful year of all these signs, these prophecies coming to pass, yo. And just look how the Lord start the year. And people not say nothing as yet, yo. We have a lot more strange things to say. We want to call phenomenon. The Lord call these wonders and signs, yo. The Lord are going to bug out the inhabitants of the earth, yo. All I know feel like when I can use logic to comprehend Yahushua, the Lord is uncomprehendable, yo. And if him they get the knowledge to understand what he's doing in these last days, yo, you're not going to understand these strange acts. You're not going to comprehend the aim, and these are the signs of the times. So I'm just going to jump straight into the scriptures. This is Isaiah 29, verse 6. Scripture read, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. These things are written, oh the Lord visit the earth, yo. I don't have a lot more to see. You have not seen nothing as yet, yo. This is just rubbing the surface to the fear and dread what the Lord are going to bring upon the earth in these last days, yo. It is written in 2 Ezra 9, verse 1. Say, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, because you're supposed to be sober. You're supposed to be watching, yo, because of the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night, yo. That's why the disciple writes, so Considering the times and the seasons, ye have no need that I write unto you, yo, because you're supposed to be what? Sober, vigilant, so that they don't commit upon you as a thief, yo, and aware. Now you're supposed to be watching these things, yo, giving glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Continuing, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproar of the people in the world, and if you were watching the news, yo, the whole of Europe was in uproar, yo, and various parts of the world. But these things are not shown on your mainstream news media, yo. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. What that word manifest mean, yo? To make plain. And the Lord I make these signs very plain, yo. That's why I'm calling them hypocrite, to discern the face of the sky and can't discern the signs of the times, yo. Verse 6, even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginning in wonders. These are wonders, yo. And powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. And I did a video, I want to say a couple of days ago, concerning the signs in the heavens, yo. The Lord do some phenomenal work right now, yo. Strange acts. So let's go back to the vid.
So woke you up this morning. How about the magnitude 3.6 earthquake that struck in El Cerrito north of Berkeley?
We don't have any reports of damage from this, but a lot of people got woken up by this, especially if you were anywhere over here. And you know, if you live over there, you are right on the Hayward Fault. Just in the last 2 years, we talked about another earthquake center in El Cerrito about the same intensity. So these have been fairly common and expected.
Devin Feely spoke with one man who caught the quake on camera.
It was very strong and sudden jolt, abrupt.
The security cameras at Andrew Shalaby's El Cerrito home captured the quake, which rattled the refrigerator and cabinets in the kitchen and shook the Christmas tree and ornaments in the living room.
I didn't know what happened. It felt like a bomb went off. Everything shook. Not like a rolling earthquake that starts kind of gradual and rolls. This just was abrupt instantly. And it felt a whole lot stronger than a 3.6.
A mega tsunami as recreated by the National Tsunami Warning Center.
In 1700 AD, there was one on the same scale and size as that Japan earthquake in 2011 or the one in the Indian Ocean a few years before that.
There's the potential to have much, much larger earthquakes.
UC Santa Barbara's professor Alex Sims researches ancient earthquakes and tsunamis based on ground-penetrating radar and drilled core examinations.
From that, we know that, about every 300 to 500 years is when one of these really big earthquakes happens.
It's now been over 500 years since a North Coast megaquake wrought both massive ground destruction and giant tsunamis.
100 feet is entirely plausible, more or less, in given local regions, depending on kind of the local details. Many of our coastal communities are certainly at risk of dozens of feet of water.
In the past 90 years, there have been at least 40 other earthquakes of magnitude 6 or larger, 6 of which were magnitude 7 or larger, all within 150 miles of Tuesday's event. So, if it sounds as though the North Coast is sitting on top of a geological time bomb, the comparison is a fair one.
A recent study suggests the Golden State must also prepare for a large flood event. For more on this, here's Stephanie Sy.
Scientists call it a mega flood or mega storm.
30 days of continuous moderate to severe rain and snow covering wide swaths of land. They haven't had one of these in California since 1862. But a new study says climate change is increasing the likelihood of another one hitting the state. The study authors say Californians could expect a month-long series of storms. Daniel, I grew up in California, and we've been preparing for the so-called big one, referring to earthquakes, since I was a kid. Put into context how much Californians should worry about this and prepare for it.
Well, coincidentally enough, one of the terms for a modern mega flood in California is California's, quote, other big one, literally the other kind of major disaster.
I've quoted this precept here, but this precept must come on. This is Matthew 16. I'm going to start at verse 1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? And these are the times that we're in now. The signs of the times. So this is a define for the elect, knowing the times that we're in now. The scripture says it's high time to awake out of sleep. Shake off the dust, yo, the confusion. Turn to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai in truth and in sincerity. I hope this is edifying, yo. But I don't want to say Kalalal, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'asham Raka Kodesh. Shalom.